This lesson is on the full stop. The full stop is also called a period in American English, and it appears as a single dot at the bottom of the line after the last word, as we see here. It is used at the end of a sentence that is neither a question nor an exclamation. It's also used in abbreviations, titles, initials, and acronyms. It's also used in decimal numbers. And with quoting with the full stop, there are actually differences between the way UK and US English treat them. And full stop examples in abbreviations. So common words such as days, months, address parts are often abbreviated. And the abbreviation is only in the written form. We still speak it the same. So the appointment is for Monday afternoon. And Monday has been abbreviated to MON and therefore has a dot after it. My address is 23 North Street, Plymouth. And street, being a common address part, has been abbreviated to ST. Her birthday is on the 23rd of February, and February is the month. It's been abbreviated to Feb. We are open between 9 AM and 6 PM, where AM stands for ante-meridium and PM stands for post-meridium. And meridium means noon or 12 o'clock, so AM is in the morning and PM is in the afternoon. And you'll notice that if the abbreviated word is the last word of the sentence, one full stop is enough. We don't need one for the abbreviation and then one for the end of the sentence. One is plenty. Titles are a specific form of abbreviation. So DR dot, MR dot, and MRS dot are actually abbreviations of Doctor, Mr. and Mistress, although the MRS you'll often hear as Mrs. as well. And they're so common that in UK English the full stop is usually omitted. And in US English they're still used. In the UK we'd write Dr. Brown will see you now without a dot after the DR. And the US version of Dr. Brown will see you now has a dot after the abbreviation of doctor. Initials are used instead of the full name and are therefore abbreviations. And because they're abbreviations, they have a full stop to show this. As in, my name is Derek J. Smith, where the J stands for John, and please note there is a space after the full stop. And if there are several consecutive initials, then you have several options. George R.R. Martin wrote Game of Thrones, where we have R. blank, R. blank. Or we can bunch the initials up together and write George R.R. Martin wrote Game of Thrones as in R. with no blank between the two R's. Or we can compact it even further and just miss out the dots altogether and write George R.R. Martin wrote Game of Thrones. And in each case, it doesn't change the way we say it, it only changes the way we write it. And if you're at all uncertain about which version to use, if you're working for a company, they may have a style guide you can use. But no matter what version you use, the most important thing is to be consistent and use the same version throughout the document. Slightly different version of this is acronyms, which use the first word of a phrase and are usually spoken as its own word. and most acronyms are written in uppercase without full stops between them. But some acronyms are so common, they're written in lowercase, and it's almost like a new word. NASA is sending a new probe to outer space. He needs that report ASAP, or you'll sometimes hear, he needs that report ASAP, where ASAP stands for as soon as possible. Please use this laser pointer. Now, laser is an acronym. It stands for Light Amplification by Stimulated Emission of Radiation. Most people overlook this and just use laser as a normal word. Similar scuba. I bought some new scuba gear, where scuba actually stands for Self-Contained Underwater Breathing Apparatus. But most people just use scuba to describe diving gear. He says he saw a UFO last night, and UFO stands for Unidentified Flying Object. In this version, we've chosen to show it with dots after the letters in uppercase. You can also just use UFO without the dots. An ellipsis is 3 dots together, like this. And it's used to indicate a continuation, and usually the reader provides the rest themselves. I told him, it's your round. ... So what you provide is, and he got up and got it. We're on holiday, we should do something. Which invites the person he's talking to fill the dots in and provide a suggestion for what we could do. Tomorrow is Saturday, no work. Again, the invitation is there to fill in the dots with a suggestion of what we can do tomorrow when we have time off. And full stop's also used in decimal numbers, and the full stop separates the whole number part from the decimal number part. And in this particular case, we don't call it a full stop, we say point, and we'll see in the examples. So 1.5 plus 3.2 equals 4.7. And someone could check this if they want to. Now here we have a currency value which is slightly different again, and we could say the grocery bill was $37.23, but that would sound a bit weird, and people would normally say the grocery bill was $37.23. Or in a pound version, that will be £167.48, please. And when we're quoting what people have said, there's a slight difference between the way it's handled in UK and US English. In the UK version, the full stop goes outside the quote, and in the US version, the full stop goes inside the quote. So the UK would have, the doctor said, I have good news for you, and the full stop is outside of the quote at the end of the sentence. And the US version would have, the doctor said, I have good news for you, would put the full stop inside the quote, as they would say it belongs to the sentence that the doctor said. A little quick one for you to have a look at. I told my boss I need time off over Christmas. So if we look at it, the full stop is outside of the quote, so it must be the UK version. I'm sure you got that right, so well done.